I am Christian's mother. Christian was born in September 1987. Parents Inez Manuel and John Carpenter. My firstborn and John Carpenter's only child. As a parent, I can tell you about, as any parent will tell you about their child, Christian was the most beautiful baby and child one could ever ask for. He had colic, all his nibbles had glandular fever. Weaned himself off sucking a dummy, proudly gave up his addiction and threw it in the ocean from the ferry so the baby sharks could suck on it. He was loved. Given and attended birthday parties, we took him everywhere. Italy, Bali, cruises, the islands up north, camel rides in the outback. When he was young, and when I was strong and so much younger, we coached it up through central and far north Queensland. I wanted to climb the rock, back when one could climb kangaroo. I piggybacked Christian all the way up and down. He loved it, and I nearly killed him in the process. It was much steeper than what I thought. Christian struggled with his parents' separation. I always spent Sundays with him on my own, that one day a week with our partners, brothers. I tried to give him all my attention the whole day. Sundays was Christian's day. 2 households were stressful for any child. I wanted him to taste, live and experience as much as possible as a mother could. I know it is never enough, and feeling as though you have failed is never the good option. Christian grew up with Transformers, Game Boy, Mario, and thought he was a Ninja Turtle. He was starstruck with He-Man and Masters of the Universe, and he would dress up and behave in character and use me as a training bag until I had enough and made him sit down, which was far worse than sending himself to his room, and that's when it started. Thanks, He-Man. He loved sitting on the child seat at the back of my mountain bike. We would go for long rides and talk and laugh. One day we rode to Ashfield Pools and somebody had stolen the saddle off my bike. So I had to ride all the way home in standing position, careful not to impale myself, and he laughed all the way home. We went horse riding and played in the park. Once we were fed and dressed, we were out the door. To ride his 3-wheeler, I almost always ended up carrying them both home. Then he worked up the ranks to a 2-wheeler, Go Christian. Waited for Mr. Whippy, top coated soft top with the works. He cried every time we walked past a ride, a shopping centre, and then moved up to Street Fighter. Christian loved his cousins, aunts and uncles, and they loved him. Giancarlo had the pleasure of taking Christian to Italy to meet the Roman side of the family. Christian always thought of himself as a Roman Italian. He had such a good time there. He loved dogs and anything with 4 legs. Trapped spiders and flies in jam jars, played with worms in the mud, making puns. Yet he hated the feeling of dry dirt on his hands. Summer or winter we went to the pools or the beach. Christian played soccer, tennis, rollerbladed, ice skated, swam, and I took him also fishing, but he didn't like that. Christian had a passion for music like his father. He played the drums in a band and played well, and he would practice for hours. And I can tell you as a parent, it is the worst instrument anyone can have in their lounge room. Driving around to gigs in a band was like packing the car playing Boxall or Tetris. I would beg him to play the harmonica instead, and Christian would just roll his eyes. He loved playing video games. I had a love-hate relationship with gaming. It would be the cause of our last argument. He was introduced to the gym at an early age. I would put him in the creche, and while he did the classes, he would run to the weight machines to pull down the handles, and the instructors would laugh and help him. In high school, he had a passion for martial arts, kickboxing, Muay Thai, and later wanted to compete. I wouldn't let him compete. Christian loved his food and had a big footprint in the kitchen. He would cook at all hours and wake up his brothers with the smell. He loved Asian, but as a proud Italian, nothing's better than a pasta marinara. He loved movies, and sometimes we would do the double feature on a Sunday afternoon and then go to Time Zone. I would play pinball and he would play Street Fighter, and then we'd both try and hit those worms on that game with the rubber mallet. Iron Man was our last movie. He loved the Easter show. He was a bundle of energy and excitement. Christian attended Our Lady of Fatima Primary and St Mary's Cathedral. I salute you and thank you all for your support, loyalty and kindness. He loved going to school, was a model student, always did his homework and he was on time. I never had a bad report from any teacher. I was proud. He would study furiously before exams, before doing his HSC. He was good at maths and computers, but nothing would get between him and his sport, whatever it would be. Christian has two brothers, Marco and Bastian. He loved his baby brothers. They were so beautiful watching them play in the pool. Then life changes. Sibling relationships are a push-pull, hard love, especially for boys. Too much testosterone in one room is never good. Christian loved dogs. We had a few, but it was a black dog that bit him in the end. I don't know how else to say it when people ask me what happened. Christian worked in finance, was good with numbers and music, worked with several top corporate companies. He loved wrestling, Hulk Hogan and The Undertaker, Andre the Giant and so many more. He loved comic books, Spider-Man, Deadpool, Punisher was his favourite. He would make me dress up in character for the midnight premiere screenings of Star Wars as Princess Leia, and he would go as Skywalker and I would just fall asleep. He loved the big day out in Comic-Con. One year he was stopped in the gym to be body painted as a Punisher. He was so excited and frantically looked for high top boots and couldn't find any, so I had to go to Bunnings to buy some white gloss paint and paint them. I had to go in character as Catwoman. It was fun. Everything with Christian was fun. Bodybuilding, weight training was his next and final passion. Gym Tiras and gym friends, thank you for your support. Funerals are hard. The heightened emotional trauma from loss. Nurturing a baby and a child to adult brings out gut-wrenching, raw, primal emotional loss and grief. It isn't supposed to end like this. I wish to honour Christian with love as an adult man. I wish to bring a flower, say a prayer, pay our respects, bring him home. This is our tradition. Sadly, not to be. Not today. Maybe someday. My dear sweet Christian, I am so sorry. There is nothing like waking up to your baby. We saw your first teeth, first steps. We heard your first words, Mama and Papa. First day at school, first brother, first kiss, first driving lesson, first job, first wife. Tragically, I will never see your firstborn. I cannot say the story. His story is not to be continued. But what I can say is, what a man.